Alright, so here's a little X-Plane 9 action. I haven't fired up X-Plane 9 in some time. This is Oahu, Hawaii. Some scenery I was working on a few years ago. Never quite finished. It's ortho photos. Looking pretty good. I see some graphical issues going on with whatever drivers I'm using. But, using real-time weather with some scripts I'd written that control thermals. Really, we don't need the thermals. There's pretty good wind running up against these cliffs. But the plugin doesn't work in X-Plane 10 because of the way the weather system had changed, so I have to never upgrade to 10. Even though I like 9 so much. It was a great sim. Anyhow, what the scripts do is they change the thermal size and the number of thermals, like the occurrence, and the strength based on the current weather conditions, whatever they happen to be. And but the idea that, you know, after polling some people that I know that fly gliders, we came up with, you know, a max and a min for those values, depending on the conditions they were flying in. The only thing it doesn't do, it can't like detect where a cloud is and base, you know, a thermal under a cloud, like I've seen before. So we just have to do it randomly and try and do it in a way that makes sense. So that script's running. It goes through and resets every 5 minutes and picks some new values between a certain set. It just chooses a random number. And I have to say, I think it works pretty well. I've never flown a glider, but the people I talked to that either flew it here at my house or downloaded the script seemed to think it was pretty good, so I'm happy with that. I got many hours of use out of it, because gliders, sailplanes, whatever, they're it's my favorite thing to do in X-Plane. Look at the weather in some remote place and try and find an airport that I could use, and you know, climb a mountain. So we are on the northeast side of this ridge that runs the length of Oahu. Honolulu is just on the other side of this ridge, the international airport over there. Going toward, I believe it's the old Bellows airfield. I could be wrong. There's a GA airfield that's on the northern end of the island, where a lot of glider operations are based. I say a lot, I mean like 2, I think. I haven't been to Oahu. It's just what people are telling me. Anyhow, I like this place because there's always pretty consistent wind, and it's usually blowing in the direction I like, right up against these hills. So you can just cruise up and down this ridge for hours and hours. A whole lot more fun than programming an autopilot and walking away. So we don't have the kind of altitude really need to make it to that field over there. I took off from Bellows Air Force Base, I think is what it was. It's as far as I know, it no longer exists. I don't believe it's actually there, but there were a couple of runways there many years ago, and X-Plane's runway data is super old, so they still appear. It's a good starting off point. Trade some speed here. Probably cut this video kind of short. I don't want to go over 10 minutes. It's kind of boring if you're not doing it. Looks like our wind might be kind of dropping out on us. The real-time weather does an update every 5 or 10 minutes. Let's see, it's dropping to around 10 knots now. This plane is, I don't remember what it is actually, but it's stock with X-Plane 9, and I believe it was a D-Max plane. Anyhow, it's pretty good, but I decided to add a couple gauges in here just to make it a little bit more entertaining to fly for me, flying long distances. So it's got GPS in it. Put a wind direction gauge of some kind in there that's totally unrealistic, and it also has a jet engine for those times when I want to really gain some altitude. But I think the capacity in it is about 10 gallons, so it doesn't last real long. Yeah, I thought it'd be a fun idea. There's a couple sailplanes out there that use a small jet engine, like one you'd find on a model plane like RC. Anyhow, just thought I'd do something different this afternoon.